Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. I'm so tired. Woo, I'm sleepy. Yeah, I be overbooking myself. Not double booking, overbooking. Like, it's crazy because if I got a spot on my calendar and somebody asks me, can I do something on that time? And I look on that, or can I do something for them on that day? And I look, and that day has some open slots. I will put them in there and I'll get it done. But with that being said, y'all, it requires a lot of energy, right? To be up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and then not to go to sleep till sometimes after midnight, and you running on like, right now I'm probably running on like 3 hours of sleep. But I say this to say, y'all, believe in yourself, right? Don't take the affirmations lightly, y'all. Affirmations are you reminding yourself of who you are. You reminding yourself of your positive characteristics, right? You reminding you that you are worth something, y'all. Affirmations builds confidence, like it's one thing, and people get confidence confused sometimes with arrogance, right? It's one thing to say, I got this, right? It's one thing to say it. It's another to believe it, right? It's another to believe it. And I'm going to give y'all an example, right? For instance, if you look at these performers, right, you can tell in their stage presence that they're comfortable in their craft, right? And one thing about performers is that they can read the energy of their crowd, right? So that's what you have to do as people. You have to read the energy of your crowd. And when that energy is off, then you need to change your crowd, y'all. You need to get away from that, right? So you gotta continuously replenish your energy with positive energy, replenishing. That's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest thing about self care, right? Because when you're self care, you got to think of it as you're healing yourself. This is your everyday maintenance. This is necessary. This is needed. You can't go through life and not do self care and take care of everybody else. I had to learn that. I think we've all kind of learned that the hard way, y'all. I think we've all learned that. So you have to believe yourself. You can't just say it because you know it's something that needs to be said, or I know I need to show this confidence in myself, but deep down inside, you don't really believe it. You can't do it. God knows your heart. So you can run around here and gaslight all you want to, because we going on some wordplay. Y'all know I like this wordplay. Yes. You can run around here and gaslight all you want to. But if you don't even believe what you're saying, there's your problem. There's your problem. And you need to say it until you believe it. If it's something positive about yourself, you need to say it. Yeah, I promise I got up and washed my face, but I keep feeling like I got sleep or something in my eye. It could be glitter. Y'all know I'm always messing with glitter. Y'all see this bag trying to come? I need to go take a nap. That's what I need to do. I need to go take a nap. Okay, so let me tell you about my post. So, in my post, I asked, do you believe that people who cannot heal themselves mentally be God's chosen people, right? So this was a conversation that I was having with church folks. Yeah, I'm telling you about this thing. This is a conversation I was having with church folks, right? And so, some of them said yes, some of them said no, right? And this was a conversation we was having in fellowship before we was going out and serving the community. So this particular church is very involved in helping people that's been human trafficked, right? And it's not just like the people that's been kidnapped. Because honestly, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, that's what I was thinking about when people say human trafficking, right? I was thinking of somebody being kidnapped and then sold as a sex slave, right? But they actually have a lot of prostitutes that come through their services, right? So it didn't dawn on me that that is human trafficking too. It's crazy. I know, yeah. Again, I'm still working on these too. So anyway, in talking to the people earlier, everybody had their opinions, right? But it kind of gave me an idea of my team. I'm gonna say my team players' mindset, right? Because y'all, I'm honestly one of those people that I feel like I've made mistakes in my life. I've did some wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, but if I don't want nobody sitting and judging me and telling me how wrong I was and holding all my mistakes against me, then who am I to do it to somebody else? Who? Who am I to do it to somebody else? Right? So that's really how I feel. And if somebody needs help, I'm willing to help them. So this is how I got involved in this church, right? So we did the fellowship. We're talking because before we go out and we do service God's work, right? They like the fellowship. I think that's a good thing. I do, because when, one or more is gathered in His name, you can send 10,000, 100,000. The number multiplies, right? As far as demons away. Okay, so I get involved in stuff like this, y'all. I truly do a lot of community service. I truly do. Like, I truly enjoy helping people. So anyway, there was a fellow that lives as a female, right? He had been trying to get away from his pimp, and he was very scared, right? And so he had trauma responses, right? Now, I don't think people realize that even though you may not mean something offensive, your tone will offend them when they're in a very traumatic situation, right? Because they're hurt, because they're going through something, because their feelings are all over the place, right? That's what trauma does. So you definitely want to take your time and understand how to help that person, right? You can't just force your help the way you want to do it on the people. You can't do that. But sometimes when you're dealing with people in a church that feel like they know so much about what God wants, they tend to force their agenda on you. So I sat here, so y'all, I sat there for a second and I watched this older lady. She was trying to help this her, which is actually a she, right? So he kept telling the lady that he wanted to be referred to as she. But this was an older lady who was in church, right? And she absolutely refused to do it once she seen his ID or whatever, right? She absolutely refused to address him as a woman. Absolutely refused. So I say this because eventually what ended up happening is they got into a big argument. The transvestite, right? He hadn't gone through the surgery yet, but was on the verge of walking out and leaving, right? And of course, I intervened and calmed the situation down because that's just what I do, y'all. And it's crazy because when I used to go through training in like the call center environment, right? Because they teach you how to deal with escalated customers and things of that nature, especially if you ever become a supervisor or management, there is some companies out there that will send you to classes for that, like leadership classes, right? So anyway, I went and calmed her down, right? Because she was about to walk out. And so I can hear, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm something like a psychic. So I heard before I stopped this person, stop them, because if not, they're going to return to the life that they're trying to get away from, right? So immediately, because now I listen, immediately when I get those messages like that, I go do what I'm told to do. So I went and stopped the person, and I was talking to her, and I calmed her down. Come to find out, she's actually tried to leave the situation 3 times, and 2 of those times her pimp beat her, and she ended up in the hospital, right? So a friend tried to help her. I guess the first time, her and another one of his workers tried to run off, and he beat them both. The second time, her family member tried to help, and he beat her, right? So this is the third time this person's trying to get out of this lifestyle. So now she's came to a church, right? Now she's came to a church for help, and the first person that she interacts with at this church is already telling her what she's doing wrong and what they refuse to do, and so on. So that was leaving a bad taste for this woman, because that's how he's living his life as a woman, as far as churches, right? So, of course, I intervened. We ended up getting the person the help that they needed, right? But that's why I asked the question. Because sometimes, y'all, when you're not healed within yourself, you're not secure enough to do God's work, right? Sometimes you can't help other people because you have biased opinions, or you have this negative mindset about a certain situation that's not helping the situation. It's not helping it at all. Like, this person knows that they need to change their life, and now they came to a church because they're expecting, love. They're expecting help, because that's what God offers, help, and he works through people, right? So you just got to be careful of where your mind is. And if you mentally are not healed enough to get out there and help people, take your time. Because you'll get out there and you'll be so hurt and consumed in your own pain that you'll start doing more of a negative effect than a positive effect, right? Because if you're consumed with negativity, that's the energy you're going to give out. You got to clean it up within. Y'all, you got to clean it up within. Because that situation, honestly, I was there for that reason, right? And that's what I want to tell y'all too. Everything happens for a reason. So the Most High already knew that that was going to transpire, but he wants to help her change her life around and get out of the lifestyle. So he put me in the place to calm the situation down, right? And I had the heart to do it, because there was 2 other people standing there watching the situation, and they were older people, and they also were very judgmental on this particular person because of the lifestyle that they had been living. And this person was sitting there like, I know this lifestyle ain't right no more. I've been through too much. I'm trying to change it, and I don't know how. Right? I don't know how. You you don't pass judgment on somebody that's asking for help. They might not. They're asking. Nobody's perfect, y'all. Nobody's perfect. The me today is not even the me last year, let alone 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I was rude as hell. People can tell you. I was mean. I was known to have a smart mouth and hurt feelings and not care. And not care. Yeah, that's because I had to clean up my own energy. about you, doing your affirmations, you'll hear something positive about you every day. And you need to get up and do that. It doesn't take any time to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am worthy to be loved, or I am awesome, or I am more than a conqueror, or I am beautiful, or whatever issues that you're struggling with, because only you know what those issues are. So, that's my positive vibes for this morning, y'all, right? Take time to heal. And for all my people out there that's doing God's work, or wants to do God's work, or wants to be used by God, He wants to use you. But He needs you to have the right mindset and the right heart to be used, right? To be used. If you are hurt, you're going to trigger somebody else that's asking for help. You're going to. That's undoing what's trying to be done. So, I love y'all. I have to get off of here. I'm going to go try to take me a quick nap. And y'all have a blessed day. Bye.